What's up, ladies? Today I'm going to teach you how to make a cleansing black salt. This can be done from any type of practice you want. This is really just something easy that anyone can do just to help you with cleansing, or if you just want to add a bit of cleansing or protection into your practice or just into your daily life. So the first thing we're going to start with is salt. You can use either sea salt or coarse salt. I would suggest not using iodized salt just because it will tend to break down other stuff, but sea salt is a bit more, is a bit less acidic than the iodized salt, so if you're going to be storing other things, use sea salt. The other thing we're going to be using is lavender. Lavender is very good for any sort of calmness or any sort of cleansing properties. We're going to be using a bit of this, and it's also going to be burnt in with the mix. And the last thing we're going to be using is some mint. Now, mint is also good for calmness and cleansing, but it's also something that's very good for long-lasting protection, just because of the way the plant is. So the first thing that we're going to do is add a base of salt. You can add the ingredients beforehand and then add it on top, but the herbs are the main thing that needs to be burnt, and the salt is more of just something to hold it all together. Now you can add some sort of enchant over the salt if you would like. Since this is a tutorial, I'm not really going to add anything. But something that you can add to your salt to add a bit more cleansing properties. Okay, it's kind of hard to see, but this is a green incense for cleansing. This is something that I would normally use if I'm going to cleanse the energy of the space. What you can do with this, if you want, is you can shave this off and just add it into the salt. I'm actually just going to burn this on top of it, but since I don't need this long of a stem, just can break that off. If you would like to, you can add some sort of sigil into the salt while you're doing it. I'm just making it flat because it'll look visually better. So, like I said, you can add some sort of sigil into this if you want to. Yeah, it's just whatever you want to add to this. And now you're going to add the ingredients. And I'm going to add a little bit of offering and ash into this, just to add a bit more of magic into this. So if you have an incense and you don't want to fully light this, or maybe you're worried that not all of the ingredients will light, just be an American and put some fucking lighter fluid on it. You can also say an enchant over the lighter fluid. The only enchant I'm going to say over any of this is just don't burn down everything. If you are going to be burning something like this and this is your first time, or maybe you don't have a secure area, make sure you have a fire extinguisher near you, or make sure you just have something fireproof you can put over this. I'm used to fire, so I'm not really worried about it. Also, this mat is fire resistant on the other side, so it's not going to burn through the table. It'll just mess this up slightly. But yeah, this dish is also, you can't really see it, but it's elevated off of the bottom. This will just help to push air underneath and help it so it doesn't burn a hole into whatever you're using. You could also just have this up higher, but this is what I'm doing. We're going to be using a red lighter. This is good for any sort of strength or any sort of assertiveness, and what we're going to be adding into this is just the energy of assertiveness and just cleansing and just demanding anything that we don't want will be cleansed from us. Ooga chakra, ooga chakra, ooga, ooga, ooga chakra. So once this burns down, most of the herbs are just going to burn. The salt really doesn't burn, it really just sort of keeps it all together. But once all the herbs burn, you can just add the salt over top, and then you can say an enchant over the salt. Also, with this incense, if you don't want to light the whole thing on fire, you could have lit this and then had some of the ashes fall into the herbs and then burnt some of it that way. But I prefer this method, and also the incense is more for afterwards to stir everything and then start a second fire. So once you get it burning, what you can do is you can use your incense sticks to draw in anything into the salt with the leftover ashes. Not all of it will be burnt, and it's actually okay if not all of it is burnt. Most of it will still create ash, and then that'll go into the salt, creating the black salt and also the energies that you put into it. If you would like to, you can just crush up some incense sticks and add it into that. That'll also add a bit of color and a bit of extra energy into it. But this is a good way to just get a nice dark black salt, and also it's not really something that you have to worry about fiddling with while it's burning. If this does get too high, put a bit of salt into it. Salt is a lot harder to burn, so the actual lighter fluid will burn underneath, but the salt will be a lot harder. And there you go. That's how you make black salt.